So what's up guys, today is part 2 of our boss fight game. So today is part 2 and we're gonna get on with the bullets and some boss attack patterns. So yeah, here is where we left off. Uh yeah, so that's looking good. We gotta receive that from somewhere, so we're gonna create a new sprite. We can name it boss bullet. You can design the boss bullet however you would like, but the thing is the bullet has to be facing in this direction. It's just how Scratch works. I don't know why it doesn't face up, but it's just how Scratch works. Yeah. So for the boss bullet, I'm just gonna draw a simple uh spike because yeah, and it doesn't look too bad, so I like it. I'll do outline 7. You can just draw a quick rectangle like that. Actually, doesn't have to be. Yeah, let me just shrink that down like that, and we can delete these 2 dots. And then we get a spike, and it's not too bad, so actually I'm going to shrink the outline down to something like 3, shrink the spike down, and honestly, that looks like a fine size. It has to be small enough so you can dodge through and everything, so. And then, yeah, so when green flag is clicked, we definitely don't want the main one to show. So what we're going to do is hide. And then what we're going to do is when I receive attack pattern 1, which is broadcasted from the boss sprite, you're going to repeat, and then we're going to create a block. You're going to name it clone bullet. And then you're going to add direction X, Y, and then this is optional. We can write homing. This won't be 100% homing, but it'll just aim at the player. Okay, so you can click. Actually, this doesn't require run without screen refresh. If you do, it's just gonna mess things up because you're probably gonna put delays, maybe. Oh, you know what? Actually, this can be run without screen refresh. I was thinking about something else. Yeah. So now what you're gonna do is, so this is how you do the actual shooting. And I'm gonna quickly create an example. So what you're gonna do is, or actually, so better because we can understand better if this is actually planned out and everything. We're gonna do if else if equals homing is 0. So if it's 0, which means false, what we can do is point in direction, which is right here, point in direction, direction. If else, we can point towards player. So yeah, we're just basically aiming at the player at the start, not at the when it spawned. But we can make it so it can follow the player, but I'll think about that. Yeah, it's not that hard, but yeah. You can go to operators, get an additional sign and another additional sign, get X, Y, and the X position of the boss and the Y position of the boss, like this. And now you can put that here, and then create clone of myself. That will create the spike clone, the bullet clone, and then it'll shoot. So now with the attack pattern 1, I'll quickly fill one up. So yeah, so that is sort of what it's going to look like, and you get a wait block, put it right here. I'm going to put 0.4. Looks like a good enough delay to me. So now that that's done, what this is going to do is it's going to give us that, it's going to give us this sort of shape. So imagine our ship is right over here, like that, and then it's going to be one right here, one right here, one right here, one right here. So this sort of shape for this. I'm gonna show you guys other attack patterns soon, so but we gotta get the bullet moving. We're just cloning it, but it doesn't do when it's cloned, so we gotta code that code first if I want to show you how this works out. So we're gonna go to control, get it when I start as a clone, go to looks, get a show, and we can go to the front layer. We don't want anything in front of this. And then we can switch our costume to costume 1 in case you have other costumes you want to switch to for different attack patterns. And then we're going to do repeat until, and then we're going to do touching edge like that. And in this series, I'm not going to do sound effects, but if you want to do sound effects, you can do if. So right here, if, and then equals, pick random 1, 2, 3 equals 1, and then play sound effect something you want to play when it's shooting. The reason why we're not doing it always and it's just one third of them actually playing the sound, because if you don't do this, it'll wreck your ears, and yeah, you don't want that to happen. So that is a bit of a filter, but yeah, it helps. So now what we're gonna do is switch to size 1 to 1000, and then we can move our bullet speed steps. But in case I'm just gonna put 7.5. You can create a variable, put it in there and everything, but I'm not gonna change it, so I like that. And then we can switch our size back to 100. The reason why we're doing the switch size is so we can glitch the bullet totally out of the screen and then make it look natural. So now what we're going to do is if touching player like this, if touching player, then we're going to change our player health by -1. And then we're going to delete this clone. And then we can get one more, put it at the end of the repeat until loop. And then now it should actually start working. And now you see that spike. Actually, now what we're gonna do is from the boss, yeah, so we're gonna actually go to front layer here, go to the bullet. No, we don't want it to be front layer 100%, so we're gonna go backwards once. And then now if we try it, yeah, it should work. And then let's just quickly hide our main sprite, and then we get that fan looking thing. There are a lot of other attack patterns I can show you right now, so I'm gonna make my second one. So now this is my second one. So now if we go, it shoots like that. And this is one of the most annoying attack style I've experienced testing my game. Like, yeah. And then I'll quickly create a third one. This one is sort of what should I explain? Sort of a randomized, like just spraying attack. So now you don't need these, and then you can switch this to like 0.06 or something like that. And I'm going to switch this up to like 40. And then we can do operators, pick random 100 to 260. And then actually, if you wanted to be more random, what you could do is go here and then do 30 to 40. This is going to be good. And then I can do 0, -35. So now if we run this, it just sprays bullet like that. But you have to remember to switch your attack style like that. And I'm going to show you what the last section is all about, because all of these are currently 0. And you want it to be 0 in that case, because it's just how it works. But now we're running out of attack patterns, so you can duplicate this, put this right here. You can get rid of this. You don't need it. Switch this to attack 3, and then switch this to attack -4. But so this system actually works, but it isn't the most fair, since attack number 1 will be the most likely, and this is going to be pretty unlikely, and you want every single attack style to show, or at least I do. So now I'm just going to slightly change the method, create a new variable. You can name it attack pattern or something like that. You can just name it AP if you want for all sprites. And then actually, so we can set that to pick random. Currently there's 4 attack styles, so I'm going to do 1, 2, 4, and then you can get rid of all of these attack patterns. Get attack pattern equals 1, do that, and then you can fill it up like that, and 2, 3, just like that, and then it should be all good. So now if we if we were to create our fourth one, so like this attack -4, you don't you can you can take that out, so we can do 16 And then for the direction, it doesn't matter, so just don't have anything in there, I think. Yeah. And then, oh, that's just, and then you can place 1 there or any other value. And I'll do 0.15. Now if we go, it should aim at the player like that. And then so let's put our player here and then run, and then should just aim at the player. So now if we quickly go, let's see if it works. Yeah, so it attacks like that. But our player can't shoot currently. So it's just, and then he is taking damage. Oh, right. Yeah. So there you go. That is our homing one. Yeah, and then our fan, and that is our homing one. So that is how it's working. Yeah, there you go. So now that we got that done, we have to get our player's bullet done. And so what we're going to do now is paint, and okay, let me just, okay, anyways, I'll just get this. This is from my, I don't know, what project was it? It was something similar to this, the asteroid breaking thingy. So you can go check that out. That was pretty cool. And now what you're going to do with this is, I think I'm just going to rename it Player Bullet, so we don't get confused with the boss bullet, even though this is bright red and stuff like that. Okay, first of all, I don't know why, but I think it's cloning like double amount of bullet that it's supposed to, so yeah, that's just wrong. I think the clones are receiving the message and then repeating them, and that is a problem. So now what we're going to do is create a variable, and then you can go P, and then you can select for the sprite only. The P will stand for parent, which will detect if it's the parent sprite or not. So now what we're going to do is set P to 0, and then set P to 1, like that. And when the green flag starts, we can set our P to 1, like that. And then now what we're going to do is if equals P is 1, then will you be able to actually run this code. So now what you can do is duplicate that. I'm going to duplicate this multiple times since I have more. So there you go, and there you go. I'll put that there. And then you can put it around it like that. And then the multiple bullets shouldn't work now. And then it should clone. Yeah, that was 16 actually. That looked like 16. There just wasn't enough delay. So I'm going to come here, switch this to 0.16. There you go. So now if we run, we should see the bullet actually working fine. And then not cloning just insane amount. There you go. That looks good. There you go. So now we can start coding our player bullet, and it's not harder at all, or it's a lot simpler actually than the boss's bullet. Now we can hide when we start. We don't want the main one to show. You almost never do in any sort of game, sort of. And then we can get, okay, yeah, when I receive spawn boss, go to sensing, get a reset timer, and then you're gonna repeat until, so repeat until, or actually we don't need to repeat until, we'll just get a forever loop. This is a lot simpler. We can take care of that later in a different method. So if operators or key spaces pressed and mouse down. So these are the two methods we're using to actually fire the player bullet. So yeah, you can choose yours on your own, but I'm going to use space and mouse clicks. So now if timer is greater than 0.2, so we can do this, 0.2. And we can reset timer. And then we can go to the front layer and then back one layer like this. And then we can start Oh no, I said I'm not using sound. Oh my god. Okay, we can go to and create clone of myself. But the go-to has to be the player's position. So now you're going to go to sensing, get this block. You can change this to player. And I'm going to actually get an addition. And then I'm going to put this here. Duplicate Y position. And then I'm going to add 15. I'm going to duplicate this and then add negative 15. And then this is all for the main spawn boss. But now what you're going to do is when I start as a clone, you're going to show and you're going to repeat until touching edge like this. So repeat until touching edge. You're going to set size to 1000% like we did for the boss to glitch it out of the screen and actually make it look smooth. So we're going to change Y by for this one. Change Y by 15. Or it's just going to fire super weird. So you're just going to have to do this. And then you're going to go to looks, switch set size to 100. And then you're going to do if touching the boss. So touching boss, then we're going to delete this clone. And we're going to delete this clone again at the end of the repeat until loop. And then we can get a change boss health. So right here, boss health by -1. So now that that looks all good, and now it should all be working, and we should be able to damage the boss, and the boss should be able to damage us, and etc. So now you can basically beat the game, but it won't show you that it will. And then there's a lot of features missing. Like, we don't want it to be variables. We might want it to be hearts. And we probably do because it looks a lot better like that and everything. And then definitely this isn't all, like, you should probably have more attack patterns because that is a bit boring. It's more interesting when there's more. And then you want effects when they're teleporting because it looks sort of plain and everything. There's no start menu, etc. I'm gonna add more interesting things like lasers when the boss health goes down low and etc. So that's all going to be added. It's going to be really cool and everything. If you want to know how it looks like at the end, this project will be the finished version of this project will be shared in my profile, so you can go check that out. And I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.